People at Ridgeway High never forgot the day a single punch changed everything, not because a bully threw it, but because the quiet new girl, the one everyone assumed was too soft to fight back, responded with a counterstrike that shook the whole school. What no one knew was that her strength wasn't born in the gym, but in the silent battles she'd been fighting long before she walked through those doors. What happened that morning became the turning point for everyone who watched, and by the end, they realized this wasn't a story about violence, but about courage, dignity, and a girl who refused to shrink herself ever again. Sparkles Chapter 1. The day SHARRIVD Madison Clarke stepped into Ridgeway High with her shoulders tight, backpack hugged to her chest, and eyes scanning everything like she wasn't sure she belonged. Her family had moved from Ohio to Seattle after her father passed away, and even though months had gone by, the grief clung to her like an invisible shadow. Her mother kept saying, "A fresh start will help." But new beginnings feel heavier when the old pain still follows you. Madison wasn't shy, she was just quiet, still learning how to breathe without her father's voice grounding her. He used to tell her, "You don't need to be loud to be strong. You just need to know when to stand your ground." She clung to those words now. The hallways buzzed with students who already had their friend groups and routines. Madison moved carefully, trying not to draw attention, until she accidentally stepped into the path of the one person she should have avoided, Logan Pierce. Senior. Popular. The guy teachers pretended wasn't a problem even though everyone else knew he was. People never pushed back against him. Maybe that's why he kept pushing harder. He walked with his pack of friends, laughing loud, shoulders squared like he owned the place. Madison didn't even realize she was in his way until she felt a heavy shove on her shoulder. "Move," Logan snapped, not slowing down. I'm sorry," Madison said, stepping aside, but he stopped. Slowly. The hallway grew quiet as he turned around, eyes narrowed like he was deciding whether to make her a target. "Sorry? So you can talk," he mocked, stepping closer. "Then use your voice next time and ask permission to stand here." Madison froze. Old fear, the kind she'd tried to bury, rushed back. She kept her eyes low, clutching the strap of her backpack. Logan smirked and moved forward again until a voice from the crowd whispered, "This girl's new. Leave her alone, man." But Logan didn't back off. If anything, the comment irritated him more. He turned around, chest puffed. If she's new, she needs to learn. Then it happened. Quick. Brutal. Unexpected. He punched her, not a playful shove or a bump, a full, angry hit to her shoulder that knocked her to the ground and startled the entire hallway. Gasps echoed. A girl screamed. Someone dropped their books. Madison's breath hitched. Pain shot through her arm, and her throat tightened as tears formed, not from the impact, but from the humiliation. She had been trying so hard to disappear, to quietly rebuild herself. And now, on her first day, she was on the cold tile floor with dozens of eyes watching. Logan stood over her. "Next time, move." For a moment, Madison stayed down. Her heart pounded, her world spinning. She remembered her father again, sitting on their porch steps, telling her she was stronger than she knew, and then something shifted inside her. She stood. Slow. Silent. Her eyes locked on Logan's, not with anger, but with a calmness that made him hesitate. The hallway felt completely quiet. Nobody expected what came next, because Madison didn't scream. Didn't curse. Didn't crumble. She simply said, quietly, "You shouldn't have done that." And in that moment, with everyone staring at her like she was fragile glass about to shatter, Madison Clarke decided she was done being small. High Voltage Chapter 2, the Counterstrike that changed everything. Logan laughed, but it sounded forced now. "What are you gonna do? Cry about it?" Madison took a breath, the kind that steadied her whole body. She didn't step back. She didn't look away, she stepped toward him. The crowd whispered. "No one ever stepped toward Logan." "Move," she said softly, echoing his earlier words. Logan tried to push past her again. "Get out of my way." This time, Madison didn't fall. She caught his wrist, clean, firm, controlled, and twisted it exactly the way her father had taught her years ago during their backyard self-defense sessions. Logan yelped, loud and shocked, stumbling backward, and when he tried to swing again, she delivered one precise counterstrike, not wild, not angry, just a single, timed, perfect motion that sent him to the floor. The slap of his body hitting the tiles echoed down the hallway. Gasps erupted. Someone shouted, "No way!" Another yelled, "She dropped him." Phones came out. Teachers rushed from classrooms. Logan looked up, stunned, clutching his wrist, face red with embarrassment. No one had ever put him on the ground. Ever. Madison didn't gloat. Didn't smirk. Didn't say anything cruel. She simply stepped back, breath steady but hands shaking slightly, because this wasn't the girl she liked being. She wasn't violent. She wasn't trying to be a hero. She was just tired of breaking quietly. When Mr. Dawson, the assistant principal, reached the scene, Logan immediately pointed at her. She attacked me. Everyone burst into laughter. Even Mr. Dawson raised an eyebrow. Son. I watched half of that happen from the doorway. You punched a new student. Logan's face drained of color. Madison expected to be punished too. Trouble always seemed to find her lately, but instead Mr. Dawson said, Madison, are you hurt? Do you want the nurse? The concern nearly made her cry. Not because she was in pain, but because it was the first kindness she had felt in months. For the rest of the day, whispers followed her everywhere. That's the new girl. She stood up to Logan. She dropped him with one move. She didn't even look scared. By lunchtime, people were asking to sit with her, asking her name, asking if she trained in martial arts. She didn't brag. She didn't even tell them the full truth, that her father taught her everything. That she hadn't practiced since he died. That the move she used was the last one he ever showed her. That night, Madison sat in her room, replaying everything. She didn't love that it came to violence, but she felt something unexpected, relief. She had stood up. Not just to Logan, but to her fear, her grief, and the weight she'd been carrying. The next day, the school felt different. People smiled at her. Teachers greeted her. Logan avoided her completely, and for the first time in a long, long time, Madison felt something she wasn't sure she would feel again: strength, belonging, and a spark of the girl her father always believed she could be. The story of Madison Clarke didn't spread because she fought back, but because she did it with dignity. Because she chose courage over silence. Because she reminded everyone at Ridgeway High of something they'd forgotten: even the quietest person has a breaking point, and sometimes, the smallest voice delivers the biggest wake-up call.